Mhm. So today I present you my pilot study of behavioral strategy choice in intercultural conflict among Russians. And first of all, I would like to say that unfortunately in the modern world, we are increasingly seeing the clash of cultures and the emergence of intercultural conflicts, which in turn can lead to the violence and the terror. And however, despite all the practical significance of this field, there, in the scientific view, this phenomenon, intercultural conflict, is not sufficiently studied, and it's rather, this field is rather fragmented and very abstract. So I guess we feel the lack of exploratory models, and here is the very high practical relevance to study this field and to explain this field in the using the theoretical concepts. So in my model, I'm based on a contextual model of interethnic communication developing by Kim. And I agree with Kim that intercultural conflict doesn't occur in outside the specific context. We consider intercultural conflict as a phenomenon that unfolds simultaneously at different levels: personality, context of the situation, and environment. And in addition, in our past research, we found the full complicity of the motivation in intercultural conflict. So we decided to develop this model. And we tried to find the specific predictors at each level. So the first level is a level of personal features and personal, for example, personal features of the emotional regulation, the participants of a conflict. So we assume that the conflict participants unconsciously try to answer these questions. Can I control my emotions in this conflict, and can I satisfy my motives? And we use Kuhl theory developed by Kuhl about violational self-regulation, because this theory um, explains good how people behave if they can satisfy their motives and if they cannot satisfy their motives in different situations. So we guess that this theory is extremely relevant for the conflict situations. So we're going further and going to the next level of the situation and the context of the situation. And we think that at this level, the person with whom the conflict occurs is of great importance. Our behavior depends on whom this conflict occurs. So at this level, we are based on stereotyped content model by Susan Fisk, because this model explains how people categorize other people during the interaction. And this model answers two questions. Does he or she intend to help me or harm me? And is he or she able to do it or not? So it's about the warmth and the competence. And at this level as well, it is also important to determine what kind of motivation is actual for the person that participates in a conflict. So we summarize different motivational theories, and we assume that in conflict can be three basic motives can be actualized. For example, first of all, security. The second motivation is power or achievement, and the last motivation is affiliation. So we also need to take into account what kind of motivation arises in different conflict situations. And we are sure that conflicts are not in vacuum, and each conflict situations depends on the different cultural norms and cultural characteristics. And at the last level, sociocultural level, we should consider the features of the cultures and the cultural norms and different rules. So at this level, we answer to the question, how does culture prescribe to behave in a conflict? And we use a theory of independent and dependent self-concepts for two reasons. First of all, self-concept reflects cultural dimensions, individualism, collectivism at the personal level. And secondly, this concept is associated with violational regulation theory and with the concepts that we use at the personal level, state and act orientation. So we try to combine all these levels and all these predictors at different levels in one model. And on this slide, you can see proposed model of our research. So we assume that there are different predictors that can associate with conflict styles. First of all, who is the opponent in the conflict and how this opponent is categorized using the dimensions of forms and competence. Secondly, what is my situational motive in this conflict situation? For example, security, power, affiliation, achievement, and etc. And am I able to satisfy my motives in these conflict situations or not? And also, ability to satisfy my motive is this ability reflects the cultural norms. Does culture allow to satisfy this motive or not? And for different combinations of these different levels predictors, we can receive different conflict styles. So we try to research this model. We're trying to confirm this model, and first of all, we encountered the methodological problems because there are different scales and measurements using in research of conflict styles, but
Stasia, you have 5 minutes left. You have 5 minutes left.
Okay, I see. But all of them are developed in the paradigm of dual concerns model, and we need to develop our personal measurement that can suit our model. So the development process combines 2 stages. And first of all, we conducted interviews about the real behavior of people in intercultural conflicts. And after that, categorize the answers, and we receive 9 different categories. And after that, after that, we tried to confirm this model using the quantitative study, and our pilot validation showed us that the best model fit 7 factors model has, and to the classical conflict styles, we added 3 strategies: expression of negative emotions, teaching cultural norms, and third-party appeal. And here is the design of our pilot study. We choose really simple model because we're trying to find something that can confirm or doesn't confirm our model. So this is a very simple design with manipulation of one variable, ethnicity of the opponent, and we use 2 groups with 2 different conflict situations. First group with the conflict with the Chechen, and the second group with the conflict with the Belarusian. And also we measure action control scale, motivations, dependent on independent self-concept, and intercultural communication apprehensions. And we use hierarchical regression analysis with 4 steps. And here is to simplify, I show you only the last step of the hierarchical analysis. And here is the conflict with a Chechen. So,
Anastasia, you have 2 minutes left.
Okay. So we partially confirmed our assumptions about their different predictors at different levels that can associated with conflict styles, and we can we found some patterns that are repeated in the situation with the Chechen and in the conflict with the Belarusian. And first of all, it is a pattern about power motivation and about the affiliation motivation, and also the choosing of the conflict style. It depends on the autonomy or dependence on the cultural norms, and it depends on ability to satisfy the motives as we assume. And now you can see the results of conflict with a Belarusian. And here is this, I try to summarize also the results in this way. And we can see that for Belarusian, our model has a higher exploratory ability. So we explain this in a certain way. We guess that probably for respondents, it would be difficult to imagine a conflict with a certain ethnic group, for example, with a Chechen. So it would be quite simple to imagine a conflict with a Belarusian. So we received this type of results that for Belarusians, the model works a little bit better. And yes, it's a limitation of our research that we studied behavior in an imaginary conflict, not in a real conflict. And probably we used very similar constructs, self-concept and act or state orientation. So these constructs can overlap each other in regression analysis. So, but in certain way, we can say that our model is partially confirmed, but sure, we need to go further and to manipulate of several variables and use more complexity, more complex analysis to confirm our the whole model, the whole theoretical model that we developed. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm glad to answer your questions.